r/AskReddit. What's the biggest lie you've heard about college? If you get hit by the campus bus, your tuition is paid for by the college. Sent from my wheelchair. I know a woman who had her foot run over by one of the maintenance carts at university. She sued them and was awarded $250,000. That more than paid for her tuition. Edit. Since people keep commenting about the legitimacy of her lawsuit and this got way more attention than I thought it would. Here's the full story. The dude hit her with his maintenance cart and crushed her foot when she fell to the ground. He was drunk at work and completely negligent. She ended up in the hospital and needed expensive medical bills covered. The university denied all responsibility and refused to pay for her medical bills. Despite having liability insurance for that exact scenario, she was out time, money, pain and suffering, and missed a bunch of work and school. I think they got off easy. That it doesn't matter if you don't know what you want to study right away and you can switch your major at any time. While parts of this are true, college is expensive. I switched my major after my second year and had to take a fifth year to finish my degree. It's cheaper to take classes at a community college if you are unsure of what you want to study and then transition into university once you've decided. Don't pay thousands of dollars to find yourself. Also, if you go to a university where the majors are competitive, which was my experience, you have to somehow balance finding yourself TM while also being at risk of missing out on your chances at one of your potential majors if you duck up on one of your prerequisite course exams. My dad spent my entire senior high school year and my entire time in college telling me the same thing over and over. If you have a college degree, any job will hire you. Doesn't matter what kind of degree it is or what kind of job it is. They'll just hire you because you have a college degree. I don't think I really believed it, but I was too busy to question it anyway. The best part? When I got out of college and had trouble getting a job that didn't involve a cash register and customer service, he kept repeating it and claimed I just wasn't trying hard enough. Edit. For everyone that sound really freaked out, this was years ago and I have a job now. The two that stand out are professors would only accept papers written in cursive, and the only path to college is doing well in high school. The former isn't true because of these things called computers and the latter isn't true because of this thing called community college. If you choose Greendale, you're already accepted. Oh, there's a bunch that I heard across all three colleges I went to. All the dining hall food had laxatives in it, so you'll shit it out before you get food poisoning. If the professor is more than 15 minutes late, everyone can leave without getting in trouble. If your roommate dies, you get an automatic A every class. Every elevator and crosswalk has a secret code you can punch in to make it go faster. Every building is haunted. Most of that is totally false. A high school teacher told us that the summer before college is the last long vacation you'll have. The many years of college were actually the longest vacation I've had. When I was in 7th grade, some of my cousins told me that colleges could look at your search history and I believed them. I immediately went through all my search history, deleted it, and purposely searched up stuff like how to solve quadratics or what does I represent so I could sound smart hardworking to colleges. That is hilarious. That the professors don't help you. This isn't universal. I had my share of profs that were sink or swim. But I found a majority were willing to go above and beyond for you if you put the effort in. If you're at a research university, some of your professors have made their life's work out of your class. If you show the interest in their work the same way they have, and show JT by sitting in the front and asking relevant questions, or greeting them with a hello and thank you before and after ass, when you go to their office for help, or copies of the slides because you missed class, because you sit in front they missed your face, they will give you a hand. I had a professor who taught municipal politics, Canada, and the course was largely about separation of powers, federal, provincial, municipal, responsibilities. The guy was a super nerd about it, and as it turns out I was too. Really enjoyed the class, always sat in front, and when my girlfriend's mom passed away when a major paper was due, gave me all the time in the world to finish it. Someone passed away that was really no relation to me, and I basically handed the paper in after finals were over. 3 weeks late. No problem. Edit. I'm leaving it, you old horses. That you'll meet the love of your life there. Or your lifelong best friends, lol. that smart and mature people go to college. No matter what college I attended, or what campus I visited, and regardless of their alma mater, there are a fair amount of fools on any campus and from any school, and an expected number of people still experiencing the growing pains of adulthood. This isn't to say they shouldn't be proud of their academic accomplishments or happy about their career prospects. Rather, it is simply that they are by all means deficient in areas I think one ought to not be deficient in: maturity, insightfulness, self-awareness, etc. You'll get laid. SMH. Wait, as a matter of fact the deadlines and professors did duck my head up. Shudder, so many awkward Tinder dates. You need to go to college in order to succeed in life. Different paths have different requirements. My best advice to anyone wondering if college is the move or not is to start by job hunting. Find the jobs you want and list out what the requirements are. If it's a college degree, great. If it's not, pursue whatever else, trade school, certificates, etc. instead. It's the best time of your life. I think more accurately it can be the best time of your life. When I was in 11th 12th grade, I had a handful of teachers assigning unreasonably huge workloads of homework that were clearly valueless busy work. Their justification was that they were preparing us for the rigors of college, and if we found this workload unmanageable, we were doomed to flunk out of college. My first 2 years of college were significantly less rigorous than my last 2 years of high school. Those teachers should have been pushing personal accountability and self-discipline, not just stressing us out in the hopes that we develop appropriate coping mechanisms. That the professors are going to be worse than the teachers at high school. I've already finished my first year of college and the professors have been extremely helpful. Even more helpful than my high school teachers. I've always hated writing essays in English, but my college professor has helped me a lot and gave me lots of helpful tips. When I turned in my first essay, he was amazed at it because I followed all of his instructions. I don't know why high school teachers implement fear to their students of how hard college is. Instead, I would have liked it better if they actually teaches us the subject instead of hearing their past life and how they ended up as a teacher. You'll get a job if you have a degree. Not gonna lie, it's nice to have literally no stress from that as someone in nursing. That the friends you make in college will be the best ones of your life. Didn't happen to me. My closest friends are a few guys I met way back when I was in elementary school and they are like brothers to me. No one could be a better friend to me than those guys. I made some friends in college but they were just drinking buddies and I lost touch with most of them. This is literally me. I'll just add on the last thing you said. I lost touch with all of them by the end of freshman year. Never had a clique, even just someone I would hang out with outside of class. I'm in my third year and I told myself to make friends this quarter, right before the pandemic. Yep, okay. That there's this sudden massive difficulty hike as soon as you get there. As someone who never really learned how to study in high school, the difficulty spike was real for me. But I get if you went to a high school that prioritized self-lead education, and I am envious of that. The lie is given by one of my old high school teachers. College is extremely difficult. For every hour of class time you will need to study at least another hour if you want to get even a C grade. The homework is also hard because every assignment is like a final project and you'll spend hours on each one. My experience. College is just more of the same in regards to high school. You may struggle a bit with new subjects, but not in any way you don't struggle with the subject now. The homework is a bit more detailed. It is not final project quality though. That everyone will come to the diving competition to cheer for you when you perform the triple Lindy. To those who have been through college, how much would you say prestige and rankings matter? They definitely help to get into certain jobs at certain companies. For instance, if you really want to go to Wall Street or go to a top consulting company, the vast majority of hires come from top schools. The way I've always thought about it is that if you have two exactly equal candidates but one went to Harvard and the other went to a community college, which one are you going to pick? You have to go to college so you can get a good job. Well, what is a good job? What if I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life? I don't particularly love my current job. That has nothing to do with my degree. BTW. But you know what? I still have one. I can support myself and live fairly comfortably. All my degree did was put me in debt. You'll find your soulmate there. The expensive ones are better. I have degrees from state schools and Ivy League schools. The state school was flat out better and cheaper. You can get just as good a degree, maybe better, from a reasonably priced school and not go thousands into debt. Current college student here. The biggest lie I've heard is probably one of the following. You're at an elite school. Everyone is going to be brilliant. Absolutely not true by any stretch of the imagination. There was a guy who drunkenly drove his motorcycle into a tree because he thought it would be funny. It's a massive place. There's no one culture that defines it. While OFC there will be things for people with different interests. As there are 8,000 students there, the university's general culture related stereotypes fit remarkably well. It's not like high school. There are no popular kids, at least at my school. Top tier fraternities and sororities effectively function as the popular group. It's going to be an intellectually driven experience. If I had $1 for every kid who was taking honors multilin ALG because it looks good for BB recruiting, I'd have the funds to pay for a plane ticket to Hong Kong. People are very pre-professional, perhaps for a reason. You came from a well-resourced district, you'll be ahead. Not at all true. College has been enormously humbling in this way. There are students who come in with a weak foundation and soak it up like a sponge. And most famously, college will be the best 4 years of your life. For some people it will, but for most people it won't. That the friends you make there will be lifelong. I learned that you make a lot more acquaintances than friends in college. Thinking back, it's weird and funny how I would be group partners, lab partners with someone I was randomly paired up with, work with them for weeks and even exchange phone numbers, emails. A year can go by and you see them by the quad and they don't even acknowledge you. That you will somehow become Bill Gates if you drop out. As others before me have pointed out, Gates, and Mark Zuckerberg, for that matter, dropped out of Harvard, so they had to have been good enough to get accepted. That the lecturers' tutors don't care about you or your grades. The professors will be hard asses and you'll meet your best friend in college. Many people told me that living in a student hostel is better than to rent a room or flat because it's all fun and stuff, but I experienced both and for me a separate room all to myself was infinitely better. There's no cliques. Everyone will be broke and struggling just like you. You won't have to deal with rich kids anymore. That you need to have a plan. College is dope. College is hard. College is stressful and makes you cry weekly. You think you have a plan until a mean Russian professor tells you he'll fail you in calculus if you don't drop out. Panic and change major. Change major again even though you'll graduate a semester late. Join a business fraternity BC, it'll look good on a resume. Run for exec board of the frat because someone told you to. Get exec board position and panic. Work on professional designations during classes. Go present at high schools for your frat. Work 25 hours a week so you can afford a commute and thank everything for your scholarships. Apply for more scholarships. Do summer internships. Take an extra semester to graduate in May and avoid the job gap that can happen to December graduates. More designations BC, who cares when the college is paying for it. Graduate a year late, having made awesome friends, with designations and experience under your belt, and celebrate because you deserve it. Too long didn't read. Take your time. Do your thing. Graduate whenever. Your plan will change anyway. That it's a blindingly fun, entirely necessary, 4-year period of your life that you will always remember fondly. For one thing, people who aren't taking out loans, getting scholarships, or getting money from their family, have to work while they're in school. During the weekends I spent zero time at parties or football games and all of my time waiting tables, bartending, and occasionally working on assignments so that I wouldn't have to complete them during the week. Between classes and the homework studying connected to them, and a part-time job, most students I knew were working about 50 to 60 hours a week to hold it all together, and some couldn't even do that with all their effort. In terms of it being necessary, I think the people most likely to support trade schools, community colleges, or just working for a living after high school will be people who go through the current American university system. Everyone feels like they're shelling out tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars for a sheet of paper, and that their development as people isn't really a priority anymore. That idea is backed up by the fact that most people with a degree don't get the job they wanted planned on, if they can get a job related to their degree at all. On a personal anecdote, I also don't know anyone that was only at college for 4 years. It took me 5 because administrative errors put me into the wrong classes, and I had to make up for lost time. Others were high schoolers that went straight into college, then realized they had no idea what they wanted to do a couple years in and changed their major. Even more were people who got an incompetent professor, or were generally screwed over by the system in a way that forced them to extend the time they spent on their education, the so-called prime of their life. All in all, the time my classmates and I spent in college was a work-intense period where we were trapped in a system bloated with bureaucratic overrun, which was designed to extract as much wealth from us as possible, and which could easily be replaced by a more pragmatic approach to post-secondary education. If we spent less time rooting for college sports teams, an anomaly in the American system, and more time asking why schools' administrative costs have skyrocketed and the perceived quality of their products have gone down, we would probably not be happy to see what we've been sending our kids into. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.